They'll be calling you a radical. First off, yeah, Ackerman sent me the 3D glasses. These things under 3D glasses. Talk about Fukushima before anything, but this video, I finally have started to feel like myself. You know, 27 months in this cancer battle. This Fukushima battle has been so important and so intense. I want to say this, right here, right now. To everybody who has hung with me. You know I've used a lot of agitating techniques to fire and piss a lot of people out. People just unsubscribe and come back. But there's a method behind my madness. I saw this movement dying on the vine several times, and I did everything I could to refire it up. Whether that pisses people off, it's the poetry of anger. Tough love, oh yeah. I want to say this to everybody who's hung with me from the inception. Everybody who has fought this fight. How much I love you. These are me and Ackerman's. Jan, Miss Milky the Clown. There's only one of these. There's only one. There's only one. That's her. This is Thomas Ackerman. She gets this one. She gets this one. This one's not for sale. That's hers. There's a few other people that are going to get these in the mail too. To Jan Brooks, Miss Milky the Clown. Her diligence, her incredible hard work. I want to say how much I love you, how much thank you. To Ratchet Christina. How much I love her. Her incredible, incredible hard work. To everybody's hung with Thomas Ackerman, Dave Parrish. I go on and on and on. You know, there's so many of you. I haven't mentioned the Green Road. His blog has been so magnificent. There's been so many people do such incredible, great work. I mean, from the get. It's been a hard, hard road. The attacks that we've been under. We've told the truth. We've simply told the truth. As I said when I was standing in front of Washington Square. Where's my necklace? To Brett, who sent me this necklace. He told me one day, he called me a long time ago, and he said, Kevin, I was contemplating suicide until I started seeing your videos. I thought I was crazy. Because I would tell the truth and talk about things in the truth, and it was like the whole world, something was the matter with me. And then I heard your videos and realized that I'm not the only one that sees the truth. And nobody wants to accept it. We're abstract. We're contrary. As I said in my speech at the Million Masked Man March, did any of you ever think that it would be this difficult to tell the truth? The truth's been hard in times before 1830, the antebellum South, Harriet Beecher Stowe, the Gimlet Girls, Tom Brown. I mean, wow. You know, the last 20, 30 years of Michelangelo's life. I'm going to tell this little story about Michelangelo, about all of you, who you are. We've stood on islands. We've not been funded by anyone. We've not been represented by anyone. We've been marginalized, yet we persevered. We've told this tale. The greatest story told in 2,000 years has been told by us. If it didn't get told, it wouldn't have been told. You know, I wish we would have had these YouTube cameras and this incredible genre when Chernobyl happened. The heartbreak of Chernobyl that continues to go on, and the denial of Chernobyl, it's heartbreaking. To the Belarus and the Ukraine, to all those girls that have passed, and all those people that are surviving, all the fighters, I love you so much. As Naughty's been released, you know, that's a publicity stunt by Putin. Let everybody out before the Olympics. You know, he'll go right back after him. You can bet on that. They're protesting the same thing. We're protesting the hijacking of culture, the hijacking of the truth in the name of Christianity. It's so grotesque. It's so obscene. To Jan, to Christine, to Dave, to Thomas Ackerman, to Stacy, to Diana, to, you know, Shane Russell, Patrick Henry, Tony and his wife. I can't say enough about your work, and I cannot say enough about how much I love you people, and how much you mean to society, You're the greatest people on the face of the earth. For real. For real. You might not think that, and people might say, oh, that's why. That's not over the top. This is the greatest story of our time. This has been the hardest story to tell the truth. To stand in the face of adversity. This is, as Thomas Ackerman says, this is a whole new level. This is radiation. This isn't culture can reboot. We've told it. We've told it in exact, incredible detail. That's me in that hospital. I remember that day. You know, I used to wear the Oscar the Grouch and my cancer hat that I retired. Hanson, you know. I was struggling so hard. I was struggling so hard, but I never gave in, you know, and I kept this fight, the Fukushima fight, the truth, going while, that's my tree with my central line hanging, and 22 things hanging off that tree one day. You know, platelet count to 8. They say you can't live with 1 under 5. Hundreds of blood transfusions. The videos that are out of my rooms are the days that I was doing good, that I could actually do it. To my beautiful friend Paul, who was one of us. You know he was one of us, and a lot of people know it. He and I grew up together. We got sick in the same time, in the same place. We dated the same girls. He was brilliant. He was genius. He was one of my favorite people ever. He died this year. You know, it came back on him. He spent his time at the end of his life calming me and his wife, and he left behind little girls. He knew what killed him. He knew. At his funeral, he let off these light, you know how I used to wear the light blue glasses, and he and I talked about that color. It was brilliant. He let off these beautiful light blue balloons on a perfect day. These, in the Wasatch, that's where he's buried, in that vista of those incredible mountains, and they went up. It was something I will never forget. It was so spiritual in that room that night. It was like my funeral, his funeral was so much like, I'll see you on the other side, Kev. You know, yeah, I know I pissed a lot of people off, and I know my agitating techniques, and I know. But I had to do what I've done. I had to. This fight had to be intense. You know, I was in the hospital, and we have some people in there. There's a lot of people in that hospital really taken back by me, really taken back. But there's a couple really beautiful nurses that are, I mean, contemporaries that get them. They're really physically just amazing women, smart, loving. I mean, just incredible girls. They get it. You know, they defend me. They're like, you know, I push back. I think a lot has to be said about the strength, the intensity of the fight. In March 26, 2012, all the spiritual healers gathered around the world. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of them. At the same time, they built seances on beaches all over the world for me. And everybody prayed simultaneously, in temples, on beaches, in homes. That's why I'm alive. This fight has been the quintessential good fight. I mean, the ultimate good fight. And Jan, Christina, from the very good, Jules Stan. Wow. I mean, their work. Nobody else did it. We've been attacked by the lies and the liars and the liars of liars in an intense, incredible fashion. I mean, unbelievably. We've stood, I mean, the emails that I've got, ain't you dead yet? I can't believe it, you know. People, there, hundreds of people rooting for me to die. Hundreds of people rooting for us to go away. You know, I hope we were wrong in the inception, but I knew that we weren't. I knew the day that it happened, like so many of you knew. You knew. So many of our hardcore viewers, we've known. And we've screamed and yelled, and it's fallen on deaf ears. But we have this genre, and we have recorded history. People say, well, what good does it all do? It does a lot of good, because there's going to come a point, and I will guarantee this. Well, I shouldn't say I won't guarantee it, because I know how that guarantee. I won't guarantee it. I have great hope. I know you cannot guarantee. I mean, that's when Max Kaiser guaranteed that gold was going up, his guest in episode 496. When it was at about 1512, I knew that it was going to go even further lower. Anytime somebody, I don't guarantee this, but I have great hope that through our work, through Jan's work, through my work, through Thomas Ackerman's work, that somebody, some powerhouse in the marine biology world, in the academia world, somebody who represents maybe the Science and Technology Lab at the Livermore Lab as I went down there, or at Berkeley, or at Stanford, their aquarium. At some point, one of them is going to break ranks, and they're going to say, I can't do this anymore. And because they've been told, oh, it'll set a panic, and say, well, we need a little bit of panic. If a little bit of panic would have happened in the early days of Fukushima, people would have freaked out. We would have forced the world to come together. And the greatest scientists in the world, instead of creating more nuclear weapons, would have created solutions. But instead, we kicked the can all this freaking time. I have great hope because of all of our work that somebody's going to come forward. Megan Rice. How much do we love Megan and Greg and Michael? I mean, as I gladly give my life to cure this planet of nuclearism, the Al Jazeera article that got written about her, I'll tag it. Wow, 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 finally a beautiful, incredible investigative journalist. Maureen Burke, Shane Russell, Tony, as soon as the FOIA documents cut loose, I don't know what day that was, you know, day 90, 100, you know, they cut loose and verified everything that I had been saying the whole time, but they're incredible hard work. Jan from the Git, Christina, Jules, Dave Parrish, Thomas Ackerman, you know, so many, you know, that I can't go on and on and on. You know, the San Onofre getting shut down there is, I worked so hard on that. I mean, Gene Stone, Kathy Iwan, you know, Myla Reason, Harvey Wasserman. So many people did so much great work. So few. I can't say how much I love all of you. And I know that I've used agitating techniques. Yeah, but there's a method behind my madness. I've saw this dying a couple times, and I've done everything I can to motivate it, fire it up, and piss it. Joni Ray down there in Huntington Beach. You know, Lonnie Clark and Eugene and Jasmine. I mean, you know how much work Lonnie Clark's getting one of these. You know, she's funded all these trips that I've flown around on. Jan paid for my first one down in San Diego, but, you know, we've tried. You know, I mean, incredible work, because we love humanity. I mean, we've done this out of pure love. People may not think so. You know, my language, just like somebody tagged me, I can't believe you use that radical, crazy language around your grandson. I'm like, really? People see what they want to see. There's not one single language word in that. As somebody said to me, one of Megan Rice's people said to me when I was in D.C., I went to church with them. She said to me, Kevin, a lot of people get taken back by your language. She says, you talk like a great old Catholic, you know. I don't take the Lord's name in vain. I use strong, aggressive language, and people see what they want to see. Go ahead. But what we see, Jan, Christina, Thomas, Dave, Joni Ray, Shane Russell, Maureen Burke, Tony, Patrick Henry, what so many of us see, we see the fucking truth. And the fucking truth is the truth. And our work will be verified. Our work will be verified. The truth will come out. I have great hope that a powerhouse marine biologist, somebody with some clout, some credibility, over the Christmas holidays, I'm hoping he can seek his soul and look at his family as they gather around him, and his children and his grandchildren, and come forward and say, you know what, enough of this masquerade party, because that's what this is. This is a giant masquerade party gone amok. This is the Pandorans versus the Cassandrans. This is the quintessential fight between good and evil that's existed from the time of man. This is it, the nuclear, the ultimate one. As we genocide the Pacific, the sea lions, the mammals, you two-legged beer-drinking mammals. I'm hoping that one of them will break ranks and come out and say, I can't do this anymore. Go to his local television station, hey, I want to talk. You know, or just do it on YouTube. Come to me. I'll fly any place in the country and interview, you know, anywhere, you know, in a studio, whatever. I'll round up the money and I'll find it. Well, people will pay for it, and break ranks say, yeah, we've been sequestered and told not to talk, but here's the data. Here's the real data. Fukushima is the greatest catastrophe in the history of the environment ever, ever, ever. It's man-made. It's man-made. There's no off switches, Thomas Ackerman says. They made some drastic mistakes. Gregory Jacko could tell you in that situation when turning the keys over to the Science and Livermore Lab, that 32 team. It was a giant disaster. They should have told the truth. The truth is always the best. That as you kick the can and lie, cover up, the lie grows and grows and grows. And so when it finds, that's exactly what happened in 1916. That's what happened over and over and over in history. Now the lie has gone on for well over 1,000 days. The lie is so big now. If they would have told the truth, the world would have panicked, yeah. And the best scientific minds in the world would have gathered together, and we don't know. It's like John Kennedy said, when they set their mind to go to the moon, whatever. The Manhattan Project, as I call this the Post-Ignorance Project, is the reverse of the Manhattan Project. That's my Post-Ignorance Project. That's what that is. It's not about lies and cover-up, as Chernobyl, she said in the Battle of Chernobyl. Alice said that great quote in 2006. The worst thing to come out of that melted down reactor, Chernobyl, was not cesium, was not plutonium. It was lies. And the lies grown, and the lies grown, and the lies grown. This giant masquerade party you're all living. It's going to blow. Truth is going to blow in your face like Krakatoa. Somebody needs to step forward and tell the truth, and we need to organize the Post-Ignorance Project, the greatest minds in the world. Yeah, too late? Yeah, for plenty of people. Like Paul, like so many. It's too late for millions of people, for millenniums. You're going to die of cancer. You know, the Pacific genocide is so real. It's time. It's time for the truth. To Jan, to Christina, to Ackerman, to all you people that watch my videos from the inception. There's so many of you. There's so many that don't even comment. You know, that stood by my side through this incredible time, through this cancer. My survival rate, you know, it's like that beautiful nurse said. She told the other nurse, you know, remember one thing. Yeah, Kevin's intensity, fighting the nuclear industry, fighting the root of the cause, and he never said this is God's will. Tim Shell, Tim Shell, Tim Shell. Remember one thing she said in the hospital the other day when the administrator gave me some shit for a freaking video. He's alive. Stay untuned.